OMT Online Dynasty, welcome back everybody. It is conference championship season here at the end of year 5. One of my favorite weeks of the entire season. If you haven't seen any of these before, this is a 32 user online dynasty. We've got 4 custom conferences with 8 teams in each and a relegation system in place. So everybody that made it to conference championship weekend, except for the Mountain West, that is our top conference, will be moving up 1 division, while the bottom 2 in each conference, except for the Sun Belts, will be moving down 1. So that's all been set, that's all been decided, but there are still some playoff spots up for grabs here as we are going to go through each conference championship. Now, we only did have 3 because in the American Conference, our Army user has been out of town, and we'll have to give the force win to the Sam Houston Bearcats with a K, which does end up putting Sam Houston in the playoffs. We'll go through our 3 user games that actually got played, then we'll take a look at the college football playoff bracket and everything, set the stage for the beautiful postseason that we have got coming up. But considering we're me bouncing around all around the country here again this week, we're just sitting in the middle of the road here in my town in Northern Illinois, setting up shop on this beautiful day. So we're just going to go conference by conference. I think we will start at the top, start with the Mountain West. In Louisiana, the Ragin' Cajuns, our Season 3 national champion, our Season 4 runner-up, has found themselves in a win and get in, lose, and get some crappy bowl game situation. Somehow, some way. The rankings in this game sometimes really don't make a ton of sense. They are coming into this one ranked number 12 in the country. 2 losses, one to Toledo, who is ranked number 10 at this point, and one to Tulsa. They have beaten number 6, Utah State, number 17, Old Dominion, number 13, James Madison. They've got a lot of good wins on that record, but for them, it all comes down to this. Utah State Boulder, on the other hand, our Season 2 national champion. These two, I believe it was in Season 2. Yeah, it definitely was. Played an unbelievable playoff game. I was very excited for this one. The Mountain West Championship, I believe I set this in the Rose Bowl. I could be wrong about that. I move these around fairly often and never fully remember. So let's just hop right on into the game. Now we are going to do kind of just extended highlights for the most part. Kind of like what we do in the usual games of the week, where we're just going to kind of jump around a little bit for the big plays when they're in scoring position on the other side of the 50, all that kind of stuff. So it's about 15 to 20 minutes for each game. So we will get it started here. Utah State starting with the rock. Tanner Applewhite in the backfield. I believe they are in the USC offense for this one. Utah State does like to jump around their playbooks a little bit, and Applewhite looking deep over the middle, and look at the platinum sure hands on that man number 83, getting big on him and going to make a huge play for Utah State, putting them to the 40-yard line. Going to lean on that run game a bit. We've seen Utah State do that even without Daniel Hill. It's still a very effective run game. Them and Louisiana, both nasty games on the ground. Go for a little cheeky slip screen over to the left there, but our right halfback really ended up getting stuck in that backfield, so that one goes incomplete. It's going to be a 3rd and 6 for Utah State, trying to get an early advantage in this one, trying to keep Louisiana out of the playoffs. That would be a shocking turn of events. Trying to go potentially a screen over to the right, but a quick little out over to the left instead, a little hot routed RPO. Moving the sticks for Utah State, keeping the drive alive down to the 28-yard line. Some more motion coming here from Utah State. This time it is going to be an actual swing out to the right, and that shifty lighten up and those quick cuts back to the inside, picking up another first down. The Aggies really got it moving in their trademark now. It's the classic Utah State look now with those cow-spotted helmets for the Aggies and the all blacks for Louisiana, like their New Zealand rugby team or something. Going for the run there on first down, not much doing there on that one for Utah State. Again, going back to that motion over the left, going to try to get that swing. Not the best blocking by our wide receiver out on the left. The corner comes down. We have to try to cut that one up. Not really much doing there. Going to be a 3rd and 4, staying in this split back set. See if we're going to go back to a motion here. And he hasn't gone to it much recently. This used to be just double pass haven for Utah State. This edge just came through totally untouched here. This is something we're going to see happen for Utah State a few times, and I don't know why. Like, what's our right tackle doing on that play? He's just doing nothing. He's just standing there watching the show as the blitzing linebacker goes right on past him. Applewhite has to check one down, and it is a 4th and 1 for Utah State. Offensive line kind of selling them out early here. And Louisiana going to go with a send 5, try to heat up Applewhite a little bit here. That time the offensive line does a good job, but the wide receiver doesn't. Hits him on the hands. Maybe he was too focused on his feet, and it bounces off incomplete. Louisiana gets the turnover on downs, and they take advantage of that opportunity. The Louisiana run game, the two Bunting brothers in the backfield, the quarterback Bunting, the halfback Bunting, both dynamic playmakers, taking that one for a quick. That might have not actually been Bunting. Number 29, I don't think is Bunting, but there are two Bunting boys in that Louisiana backfield. Then we hit them with that tight end RPO. So Louisiana had been running, gotta hit the freaky little dance, had been running the option, I believe, for the first 3 seasons. I know when he won the national title, he'd been in the option. Season 4, I think it was at the title game, he switched to the veer and shoot and has been in it this year, and it has been nasty. It's been working well for Louisiana. That time, Applewhite rolling to his right, trying to throw it all the way back across his body to the left, gets hit as he's thrown, in an unbelievable reaction time by number 37 of Louisiana to grab that interception for the Raging Cajuns, and Vancy taken right back over at the start of the second quarter. Your ball at the 13, a 1st and 10, going back to that RPO and finding some space up the middle. This Louisiana run game, this veer and shoot, you got to watch the RPOs, but you can't spread yourself too thin, because then he's just going to be able to run the ball on you. And look at the block laid there by number 57 in the fight by the Raging Cajuns, and hit that freaky little dance one more time. Gets contacted about the 2, but just rolls right on top of everybody and in for the Louisiana touchdown. Now on this 4th and 1, I actually replay this, because look at the left tackle on this for Utah State. What in the world is this guy doing on 4th and 1? Number 71. Look, I put my cursor there, watch him. What in the world was that? I mean, what are you supposed to do in that situation? A 4th and 1 and your left tackle just lets the defensive end come through completely untouched. Pretty nightmarish start for Utah State, finding themselves in a similar situation they had Old Dominion in just a week ago, where it's just a horrible start and you got to try to fight back as best as we can. So there's Andre Bunting, one of the Bunting bros of this Louisiana backfield. Now it is going to be Hester back there, and this power read play, man, I'm really coming around on power read being just a really good play, especially against a defensive look like that, where we're mostly determined. We're giving that to the halfback. Hit the freaky little dance one more time at 21-0 lead to Louisiana. And with the speed and abilities and everything Louisiana has in that backfield, you don't need much space to be able to get something going there on that power read, as we see right there. But Utah State, much like Old Dominion did when we played against Utah State, is going to be battling, fighting, not going to be giving up. Try to hit a seam streak here, and honestly, when I was watching this, I thought that was wide open too. I did not see number 18 at all. I don't know if Utah State did. Oh, and just by the way, happy birthday to our Utah State user Boater. They played this on his 30th birthday. So welcome to the 30s, brother. Just sleep wrong and you're just never going to be the same again. Now there goes number 21 on another run, that time Tremaine Hester for Louisiana, putting them back into scoring position here, looking to extend this lead even more. I mean, very impressive game from Louisiana so far. They know that playoff life is on the line, and they are playing like it. Now, going back to that run on 1st and 10, this time Reed Driscoll, the superstar linebacker for Utah State, gets in there to bring him down for just a gain of 1. Because even if I don't know what that blocking art looked like. Okay, I wasn't sure. When we looked at that play art, number 18's was going way in the backfield. So I was wondering if when we snapped that, he was actually going to run backwards. It's EA. I feel like nothing would really surprise me at this point. But now we got a 3rd and 4. If we can just keep them to 3 here, that technically will keep it a 3-score game. Obviously, we're not in a good spot, but it's been much worse. But we're going to go back to that tight end RPO and look at the fight through that outside corner, though. He was the only one out there who had a chance of making a stop on that. He fights through the block of that wide receiver, brings him down, forces a field goal attempt here from the Raging Cajuns, a 46-yard field goal. The kick is up. The kick is good. So it's a 24-0 lead now for Louisiana. Now here comes Utah State, just past the 2-minute warning here, ball back at the 42. If we can get something going here before half, spark the team at least a little bit, give them some hope in the locker room, give them something to rally around during halftime here to come out and show, put up a game here in the second half. Going to some man coverage on defense. Applewhite stands in that pocket, delivers a nice strike. Nice to see the offensive line not just deciding to let somebody run right past him this time. Now we're going trips over to the wide side. Some more motion with the halfback, the user. Everybody has to commit down to it, and we have people open. But again, that offensive line just giving them no shot to throw that. Almost lucky that one wasn't a D-line pick there for Louisiana. Again, that'd be devastating to have two of those. Again, swinging that halfback out, just trying to get enough attention paid over to that right flat to try to open up something deep, and we hit that comeback all the way towards the right sideline. Cover 2 on defense this time. See if we're just going to take it underneath. We are, and just, oh my goodness, what a hit. Oh my word. I was going to say, I mean, great. The change of direction that these guys have, where we can just catch a little drag like that and just a quick cut right up the field, gets an extra 3 or 4 yards on that compared to a standard wide receiver maybe. But then boy, did he get leveled. Oh my goodness, did he get hit. That looked like a quick rub return route there, which Utah State loves and will 100% just throw that to the outside receiver every single time. Now we're going to try to go to an RPO over to the left, but Louisiana all over that one. Now it's a 4th and 2 for the Aggies. Almost feels like game's on the line here. We're going to go direct snap in the outside corner, sheds the wide receiver, just like we saw Utah State's defense be able to do there. Gets through there, keeps Utah State off the board, and it's 24-0 at halftime. Don't write off the Aggies yet. Don't write off those Aggies yet. Now, Louisiana going to be dropping back, trying to make a run, trying to make a play with Bunting. Takes a shot there. Now, at the 34, so it'd be a 51-yard kick. I am surprised. I don't think Louisiana kicks this. I'm pretty sure they go for it. And I'm surprised because you take your 3 here, and it's a 4-score game. Versus now, it's technically still a 3-score game, but Louisiana is going to decide to go for it here. Staying in a wide with the tight end attached, 2 receivers to the right, 1 way out to the left. Hester going to be going on a Texas route over the middle, drag from the outside, curl from the slot on the right. Great defense there by Utah State. Nowhere really to go. Has to try to take off with Bunting, but the user strip fumble, puts the ground on the ball on the ground, puts the ground on the ball. Sure, that kind of works too in a way. And Pettigrew Jr., wasn't that the rat from Harry Potter? He is a real boy now, and he is going to pick up that ball and take it all the way in for the Utah State touchdown. Is that the big momentum shift the Aggies needed here? Finally, the defense steps up, makes a huge play, and even just takes it all the way in for a score. Now we are going to go for 2, try to make this a 16-point game. A little bit of life here for Utah State, especially if we can get this, and we do a quick slant right over the middle of the field. It is now 24-8. Now, Louisiana with the ball again, looking to keep the pressure on here. Going back to that run up the middle and just gets absolutely rocked. A whole bunch of Aggies came to fill in that gap. Seeing that run defense working a little bit better here for Utah State. Coming out with some double mug, but then spreading our linebackers. Let's see. Oh, and then that's right. On the right, just somehow number 12 just absolutely burns number 21 on that press. Just runs right on by him for the Louisiana touchdown, extending that lead again. And I apologize. I cut off the freaky little dance there. That's my bad. I shouldn't have done that. 31-8 now. But again, Utah State, we know this offense can put up points in a hurry. We know this defense is capable of forcing turnovers and making those big plays, so we can't write them off totally just yet, even if we're down 23 with 7 minutes left to go in this one. But that is going to be a 1st and goal now at the 2. We're going to go try to hit a quick one over to the left. Louisiana defender able to get his hands on that one. It's going to be a 2nd and goal now. Big man, looks like big man blitz. Oh, we're zoning some people out here. See what Utah State's going to go to. That quick rub return again, hitting the head, just regardless, throwing that to our outside receiver. Able to catch it, able to get a yard. Still a yard left to go. So we're going to flip this trips over to the left side here. We're going to be staying in man coverage with Louisiana. It is just going to be a run up the middle, and we get stuffed. And now it's a 4th and goal at about the 6-inch line for Utah State. Obviously, you're going to be going for it in this situation. Field goal doesn't really do you a whole heck of a lot of good. And it's going to be some single back U-off trips with a quarterback change here for Utah State. That is not Applewhite anymore. That is the faster quarterback, and that is exactly why. Call the little bootleg, call the little rollout, and let your fast quarterback use those legs and pick up that touchdown. You know, Utah State going to go for 2 again here, dropping back to pass, hitting the quick out to the left. Failed us on that opening drive of the game for 2 points, though. It is good. And Utah State gets a stop on defense, and we get the ball back. Now down by 15. Again, just going to hit a quick one right over the middle, pick up that first down. 5 minutes left to go in this ball game. If Utah State can get a quick score in this situation, we have a 1-score game with still a lot of time left. Can the Aggies put the pressure on Fancy and Louisiana here? Coming out in some gun spread, Applewhite is... Oh, no. Spoke too soon. My apologies. Audibling to trips. It is Applewhite in the backfield, though, with number 32. See what the play call is going to be here for Utah State. It's going to be a 3-man rush, manning up the inside slot receiver for Louisiana on the defensive side of things. Applewhite still deciding what he wants to do here. Offensive line seems to be, well, I was going to say seems to be doing a little bit better, but then that number 93 was coming screaming in. So maybe not that much better. But Applewhite didn't see that coming. Able to use his legs and pick up the first down for Utah State. 4 minutes left on this clock. Ball at the 20-yard line. How are we going to punch this one in? Again, take a quick one underneath. That sidestep lighten up. That juke carried like 6 yards. That is preposterous. He was on skates hitting that juke move. A first and goal for Utah State. Under 4 minutes left. What are we drawing up here, Mr. Applewhite? We see the press coverage using that slot corner to take away the quick out. Good defense there by Vancy, but then we're able to find an awful tight window right over the middle of the field. But it is a catch. It is a 2nd and goal now at the 2. Yeah, I really liked what Vancy did on the defensive side there, where he just took that slot corner and was taking away that quick out route. We've seen Utah State go to it a few times. We potentially were again there, but this time we have an in route from our outside receiver who's able to haul it in. Touchdown, Utah State. Extra point is up and good, and it is an 8-point game, but Louisiana putting that anaconda death grip on the ball here. Going to 5 wide, double mug, mid blitz. Going to get absolutely gashed by that 5 wide QB run. Absolutely killed, as we saw there. Picks up that first down. Louisiana in field goal range here, running out the clock. Utah State hanging on to the last two timeouts, hoping somehow, some way, this offense can get the ball back. And only down by 8, still being alive, but we will see what they're able to do. And then number 29, just what a beast. What an absolute beast. Carries that, I believe it was a defensive lineman, just carried him for like 6 yards. Broke like 4 tackles, takes it in. Louisiana picks up the first down. Louisiana able to run out the clock. The Ragin' Cajuns get the win in the Mountain West title game, 31-23. And as you can see from the rankings, how they changed here, Louisiana moved up to number 8, Utah State dropped down to number 10. So it kind of depends on how everything shakes out for the Aggies if they can make it back to the playoffs. I think they've made it every year, I want to say. In season 1, they lost to CPU SMU. It was some hurry up like veer and shoot offense that was absurd. Season 2, they won the national championship. Season 3, they lost to Toledo. Yeah, and then season 4, they were actually out of town, so they gave a force win in the first round of the playoffs. So you will see if Utah State's 5-season streak of making the playoffs will be able to continue here. But congratulations to Vancy on winning the Mountain West again and punching his ticket back to the big dance. So now we will go to no playoff implications on the line here, but to 2 teams that will be moving up into the Mountain West Conference next season. That is Navy and Georgia State for the Conference USA Championship. Shan, I think I'm saying that right. If I'm saying that wrong, please make sure to let me know. Took over Navy just 5 weeks ago or something like that, and has been on an absolute tear. Beat Georgia State in the regular season. Pulled off a lot of very impressive wins for the midshipmen to earn them that promotion up to the Mountain West next year. Same with Georgia State. And maybe technically, if there's enough chaos throughout conference championship week, Georgia State could find a way into the playoffs as they're coming into this one ranked number 19 in the country, but I think it would be awful difficult. And of course, Havs 24, Georgia State, utilizing that Navy playbook where he does love to throw those deep shots out of pistol, using Navy against Navy, trying that all go, but the safety gets back there in time. A little bit of a lucky break there for Georgia State that one just falls incomplete. We've definitely been seeing him utilize this pistol offense more and more. It had been a lot more flexbone in years past. Now going to this maybe in an attempt to get the Bellin Wall, the Bellin Rena, the quarterback of Georgia State, giving him just a little bit more room to operate in that backfield, letting us be able to take off and run with him a little bit more. So now we go to a pistol full house, go to that triple option, get the pitch out there quickly. Good, great user defense there. Oh, and a great user hit too. So first we were using number 5 and actually came down there, forced him all the way out to the sideline, just wasn't quite fast enough on the user. Oh my goodness, that D tackle just totally blew that play up. Forced him all the way to the edge, just wasn't quite fast enough to actually catch him and make that tackle. But then we switched to number 42 and go just blast the guy, blast him into oblivion. And then that defensive tackle goes and makes a great play, and we got a 3rd and 9 for Georgia State. 3.5 minutes in the opening quarter of this one. We are going with that bang 8 seam. Down in the red zone, we'll see how it works. I love that extra little fake at the end that just does nothing. Contains there by Navy, do a great job of keeping Bellin from being able to roll out to the right. He comes back to the left, but then finds his man, number 23, standing all alone in the back of the end zone. Touchdown for Georgia State. Navy looking to answer back here. The lefty quarterback, DeAndre Hill, beautiful find deep down the field there to number 10. Now, Navy, they do have Caleb Hawkins in that backfield, and yeah, what the heck happened here? So we saw some bad offensive line play from Utah State. I don't even know. This was somehow he got a turbo boost. Look at that. Look at that. What? I got to see this one more time because I am just so confused on what happened here. But look at this man right here. He literally teleports into the backfield to get the sack. EA, come on guys, what are we doing here? Corey Wake was the star of the Georgia State defense when we did the game of the week with him just a few weeks ago. Hadn't seen him make a play like that though. So we take one down to the flats on the next one, get us some yardage back, and be a 3rd and 5, maybe again dropping back to pass, potentially have up the seams, but go to the corner route instead in number 10. Couple huge catches for that young man on that drive. Navy answers right back, ties us back up at 7 apiece. Now Habs back on the prowl, back on the attack with these Panthers, going back to that bang 8 seam type play, and Bellin is just so gosh dang fast. Rolling, I mean, an unbelievable throw on the run to his left, back across his body, just feathers it over the defender there. Close call, but able to get it. And again, fantastic user defense here from Shan on this triple option. So he's in full house. We see this triple option coming with the user. We fly straight down to the halfback and just level them again. These Navy boys are laying the lumber on Georgia State so far in this game and force that turnover. 5 minutes left in the second, still tied up at 7. Navy's now got their offense moving a little bit down to the 37-yard line and take that quick flat over to the right, little swing route out to Caleb Hawkins. Able to take that one for the big Navy 1st down, puts them inside the red zone here. In Navy, I actually don't know what offensive playbook they're in. I suppose I could have checked, but here we are, here we go. We are just working with it, giving it back to Hawkins again. Those just quick cuts with some of these superstar backs like Caleb Hawkins, how he's able to just move right to the right there, evade pretty much the entire defense and take that for a gain of 12. 1st and goal, ball at the 8 now for Navy, looking to get their first lead of the day, heading right into the Georgia State student section there, right in their end zone. Give it back to Caleb Hawkins. Why the heck not? Now we go to some goal line defense here for Georgia State. 60 out jacks, honestly a really good defense, trying to hit an RPO, but that flat in that 60 out jacks is able to get out there and make a play on it. So now we got a 3rd and goal at the 3. Navy going to go back to an RPO over to the right, and again that flat is there. He reacts enough to at least make a play on it. So now we're going to go to the wide side of the field, try to spread out that goal line defense, and again the hard flat from 60 out jacks. 3 straight plays the hard flat made a stop there for Georgia State. So Navy's defense, though, did force a punt, did get this ball back with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Still a 7 apiece. We're trying to hit him deep again to number 10. That same play looks like we tried to hit him with earlier. This time, though, Georgia State was ready for it. The safety, number 21, comes and jumps right down in front of it. Heisman house call and layout on that young man, making a big play for Georgia State. Now they've got it back in the red zone. The back and forth of these defenses, each making some big plays. Now we go to a read option, and the Ballerina does not need much space to make you pay. He finds the little seams in that defense, is going to take that one in for the Panthers. Touchdown, Habs 24 now with a 7-point lead, but Shan and Navy back on the attack now. Ball at the 50-yard line, be dropping back to pass, hitting a little drag over to the left, finding number 82, and look at the spin move. Big man, I believe that's the tight end of Navy, able to show his own, put on his own ballerina shoes and hit a little pirouette there for the Navy first down. Less than a minute to go, looking to tie this one up before we head into half. DeAndre Hill conducting traffic in the backfield here, going right back over the middle. That number 10 in Navy, been a very impressive wide receiver we've seen from the midshipmen. And Navy might have the best uniforms in the game. I like their default uniforms, so then when you add in their alternates, Navy is way up there. Then we try to hit number 10 on the left again, and this time though, number 28, Bud Cauley, the safety for Georgia State, is there, and nobody on Navy is gonna be able to catch him. What a swing. Looks like Navy's potentially tying this one up, and even salutes on him. Salutes on the Navy boys. A little disrespect there potentially from Habs 24. Dropping back to pass again, here's DeAndre Hill. Now into the second half, Navy's still down by 14, but we've seen this offense be moving. This has been a very efficient offense for Navy until we get down to the red zone. Then we've had a few issues, but this time number 82, another fantastic play. Number 82, number 10, Caleb Hawkins. There's a lot to worry about with this Navy offense. Coming out in goal line now on a 1st and goal at the 2. And this is an exception. So we do have the new rules of you can't like doggy style your defensive tackle or hover in double mug mid blitz with a safety unless it's goal line versus goal line, because I feel like that's really the only shot you have to really stop quarterback sneak, because you really got to get down there in the user with your user like right in here, or else number 1 is able to just tumble his way in for the Navy touchdown. But that brings us back to a 7-point game. The midshipmen not going down without a fight. So Georgia State, 2nd and 5, 3.5 to go, still at their own 23. So something big must happen here, and something big does indeed. The Bellin Wall, Mr. Habs, tear down this wall. The Bellin Wall, able to keep it on the read option. If he's in the open field, just 1-on-1 or even 2-on-1, he is such a tough guy to bring down. He is going to rip that one for about a 75-yard touchdown there for Georgia State, bringing them back to a 14-point lead. Not sure what happened to DeAndre Hill on that last throw, just kind of hit his guy right in the heels there. But on the next one, right on the money. So now we got a 1st and 10, well now a 2nd and 10. Navy with the ball at the 26, going back to Caleb Hawkins right up the middle. We'll take a nice gain of 6 on that one. 11 attempts for 91 yards. In real life and in college football 27, Caleb Hawkins is going to be a freaking dog. He's going to be unbelievable. Was at North Texas, goes to Oklahoma State, and a beautiful throw right over the middle that time by DeAndre Hill to who else but number 10. This guy, this is number 10 wide receiver on Navy. Look out for him. So now Georgia State back only up by 7. Bellin rolling out, and what a robbery this is here. Just by the way, they call this defensive pass interference on number 7. How in the world? How in the world? Great user defense. We switch over to that right side to watch specifically that. You just back up a little bit. He was strafing, had his back to the receiver, and they call pass interference on him. Brutal break there for Navy. Now we'll see though if Georgia State can take advantage of the second life they were given on this drive. A 1st and 10. They've got it down to Navy's 33, less than a minute to go. And going against these type of teams who run formations and playbooks like Navy, it's tough to be down late in the 3rd or 4th quarter. We have to hope they're going to make a mistake somehow. As if all goes according to their plan, they are just going to run this rock and kill as much time as possible. So that time, great defense there by Navy, gave Bellin just nowhere to go, ends up having to throw it away. He's not even able to get a run off. Now we are going to go for a screen over on the right side here. We see that outside corner backing up, gives us room to dump one down to number 19 and pick up 7 yards, and we'll take it to the 4th quarter. where Georgia State is going to come out in some flex bone and go with a fullback toss over to the right, but that ain't no regular fullback back there. It's Atia Littlejohn. Again, EA loves the last name Littlejohn. Able to just cut that one right up. Looked like Navy was all over it, but a great run there by Littlejohn, setting up that 1st and 10. And now we see Georgia State going to start working clock a little bit. And boy, oh boy, if we were able to get that pitch off, that was a touchdown for one of the teams. I don't know which team was going to get a touchdown on that, but one of them I think was going to. But Navy was able to wrap them up for a loss of 1. Then we tried to hit a little wingback sweep. Nothing doing there. Our 3rd and 11 now for Georgia State. Wasn't going to go... it is kind of a sneaky little screen going out to the left there to number 32. See how this sets up. Just nobody blocks that outside corner. We try to make some moves, but a great Superman tackle there by number 17. Georgia State taking the smart route here. Going to go ahead and kick their field goal. I think we notice he's manually chewing clock at some point, so we do skip ahead. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. We do. There we go. So the kick is up and the kick is good. Georgia State pushing it to a 10-point lead now. 3 minutes left. Now, one last chance for romance for the Navy midshipmen. A 4th and 2 with 3 minutes left, down by 10, dropping back to pass, and beautiful find right over the middle to who else but number 10. This Navy wide receiver is having a star-making performance for the midshipmen today when they need him most. Finds his spot right over the middle, right over the user's head. A huge 1st down for Navy. Now dropping back to pass, rolling out to the left with the left-handed quarterback. He's able to set his feet and find number 82. It's all number 10. It's all number 82. It's all Caleb Hawkins. A great attack from this Navy offense. Now we go to the right there. Looks like we have a step. Looking for actually number 2 on the Navy midshipman. Somebody I don't believe we've seen catch a pass yet today. Look like we have a step on him. Maybe a little underthrown there by Hill. Georgia State's defense very close to being able to make a play on that. So then we go back to Hawkins, takes it only for a gain of 3. Just 2.5 minutes left. Can Navy punch one in here? Keep the game going. We go for the curl route, but maybe it was a high ball there by DeAndre Hill, but the Georgia State secondary knocks that one out. So now we got a 4th and 7 for Navy, and they decide to go for it here. I feel like I would be taking my 3 and making this a 1-score game in this situation, but that I could be wrong on that. I'm open to the idea of going for it here. Go for a wheel route over on the left, but number 23 able to jump in front of that one for Georgia State. Again, just slamming the door on these Navy boys once they get down to the pay dirt, and it's been Georgia State's defense making big plays. So now with 2 minutes left, Georgia State is going to decide to go for it here. This I kind of get, because you're up by 10, you kick, you're up by 13. Go for it though and get the 1st down. This game's pretty much over. Navy's only got 1 timeout left. We're going to try to run it up the middle, but Navy's defense all over him, brings them down. So now ball at the 9-yard line, just past the 2-minute warning. Navy down by 10, only 1 timeout left. We got to score this ball. We got to score it quick. We're going to take a quick dump down to Hawkins there on that left flat, picking up 12 yards. 1st down for DeAndre Hill, and Navy going to a little play action. Something about the left-handed quarterback really animates very strangely on those play actions. He kind of like turns around. It's like when Jordan Love had an injured shoulder and could only do play action with one hand. He couldn't do it both ways, so he had to do weird twists, weird turns, and it never looked quite right. That's kind of what we just saw from DeAndre Hill. This time though, great job by the offensive line until that Corey Wake. That man is an absolute menace for the Panthers. Getting back into the backfield yet again. This time though, at least he took more than a split second. He didn't just teleport into the backfield like we saw earlier. Still brings him down, and again, Wake beats that right tackle, forces Navy to just dump one down to Caleb Hawkins. Corey Wake is single-handedly carrying this Georgia State defense here. I'm just watching him on this 3rd and 14. I'm going to see what he's able to do. He gets a slow start there. Then here he comes. Here he comes again. We have to try a deep crosser, and that one goes incomplete. He even got chipped a little bit, but was unable to do much. Now we're usering Corey Wake. Habs going with the user rush on Corey Wake. He does get around there. Nobody open downfield. Shan just has to kind of throw one up, and it is incomplete. And the Georgia State Panthers complete a fantastic season, taking down the midshipmen, getting revenge for that loss in the regular season, and come away as your Conference USA champions. Now, what's kind of messed up here, though? Georgia State was at 19, won the conference championship, and dropped down to 22. Not entirely sure how that happens, but again, congratulations to Havs on winning Conference USA. Shan, an unbelievable turnaround you've done there with the midshipmen. We'll see both of you guys in the Mountain West next season. In the American Conference, like we said, Army out of town, had to give the force win to Sam Houston. Ended up being pretty close, 29-24. The fourth quarter heroics of the Sam Houston Bearcats come through and get them that win, move them up to rank number 12. And with them being a conference champion, Sam Houston, the Bearcats with a K, will be headed to the college football playoff for the first time. Best of luck to Woe Twice come playoff time. So that's going to take us to our last conference title game here in the Sun Belt Conference. Washington State, Georgia Southern. Caleb versus GMOS. Now, Georgia Southern, their one loss to CPU Georgia Bulldogs. That one kind of stings a little bit, but coming into this one ranked number 22. Fantastic season for both these guys. They'll both be moving up to the America next year, and this is a crazy game that these guys played in this one. So now Georgia Southern with the ball first here, just over a minute gone by in this game, and already up past Washington State's 40-yard line. We know Georgia Southern's offense can move it. We know Washington State's can as well. Great switch there by Caleb. Sees that swing coming, goes and gets on the hook, or whoever it was over on the right, on the Tampa 2, flies down, brings him down in the backfield. To win. Dropping back to pass here, really nowhere to go. The big man rushing all over him. But when you got a guy like Matthew Bauman, just go box him out, brother. Go get big and go make a play for us. First down for Georgia Southern. Not too dissimilar to what we saw Georgia Southern do against Appalachian State last week. And I believe that one was a fourth down, pretty do or die situation. And we were able to find Bauman deep down the field there. Now we go to that power read. Doug Heron. See, I'm telling you, power read might be one of the best runs in the game. I've never really personally liked it, but I feel like if you just go and just keep it with your halfback most of the time, I feel like it's really good. So now it's going to be a mesh spot, 2nd and 2, down to the 9. Find that spot right over the middle, and number 83 takes that one in. Georgia Southern gets on the board first. 7-0 lead here in the Sun Belt Championship, but Washington State, they said we know their offense can certainly move the ball as well. Another kind of 2-quarterback system. Well, kind of a 3, because Washington State will do a lot of wildcat with that number 17 wide receiver back behind center, which we will see in this game. But Dash Breeley, the appropriately named Dash, the quarterback for Washington State. Talk about a guy who can get into space and get it moving. And I think we see it. I know we see it sometime in this game. I don't remember exactly when. So we motion over to, looks like a little trips wide over, take one down to our halfback there quick on a 2nd and 4. Gets brought down just short. It's going to be a 3rd and inches, ball at the 34-yard line. Going from empty, audibling into trips, audibling into a bunch of different formations. We don't see a ton of people that do that, but Washington State certainly is one that will audible between the different formations, find the looks he likes, and there goes Dash. I had a feeling it was pretty early there. It kind of bounces off one tackle there early, then we'll just take that one in for the Washington State touchdown, get us tied up at 7. Now the Cougars defense stands tall, gets a stop, gets the ball back for the offense, now dropping back to pass. Nice find right over the middle there. Number 17, that is the superstar wide receiver for Washington State. Definitely probably the main guy where you have to watch out for. We see him in the backfield here. Washington State does a very good job of making sure he's our star player. He's going to get this rock however we have to do it. Put him at gadget, have him in the backfield, put him at the Wildcat quarterback, Cooper Perry. However, somehow, some way, we're getting him the ball. Now we see our other quarterback in here, number 6 for Washington State, Torres, I believe his name is. A little orbit motion going on from number 87, going over to that right flat, just kind of a distraction, trying to find some space over the middle of the field. Going to roll out to the right, but we don't quite have those legs of Dash Breeley to be able to make a play on that one. It's going to be a 3rd and 2, Dash back in for Washington State. We saw enough. You know what, Torres? That's enough, brother. We appreciate you, but get the heck out of here. 3rd and 2, we're going to go to that RPO, and beautiful blocking on the outside there by the Washington State wide receivers. Let's number 8 catch that in a ton of free space, pick up a lot of yardage there, putting them in the red zone now with 4 minutes left in the second, ball at the 17. Staying in that like trips Y over type formation, where I believe the tight end is actually ineligible on this. Which I don't know. I've never really loved formations with built-in ineligible receivers, but if you're running the ball or blocking running the ball or you want to block 6 anyway, then then I get it. But we go back to a run there to Cooper Perry, and you could see just on that, yes, that was a loss of one, but you can see why we have Cooper Perry in that spot with how quick he was able to cut to the outside there, like what we're seeing out of that young man. So we got our hard flats out there. I believe Georgia Southern does a lot of, they just set their hooks on 5. So we'll see a few times throughout this game, they'll be calling like a match formation. You'll see them being invert hooks, but they just stay down at 5 yards. Yeah, hard flats, shade everybody down, trying to take away those, quick throws over the middle here. So now we're actually going to go to a little bit of man against the empty set. Dash Breeley in the backfield for Washington State on a 3rd and 11. Little 2-man stunt going over on the left for Georgia Southern. Stunts are so good. That was such a good thing they added to the game. Let you actually try to get pressure with only rushing 4. And Breeley just kind of misses his mark there. We had that comeback, we had that open, but Breeley just sails it a little bit. So Washington State's going to have to settle for 3, but still the Cougars in the lead here in the second quarter. Now a little PA boot over. So I've been actually, for whatever reason, watching a lot of Throne play Madden Ultimate Team like at 22, and this play was so freaking good. It was such a good one-play touchdown, and now Mr. Meningitis himself is going to take that for a one-play touchdown. Hit the boot, hit one little juke move in the kissing disease, taking that one in for the Georgia Southern touchdown. Just like that, there's that quick strike offense of Georgia Southern, and the quick strike defense here too. Again, those hard flats, having everybody down on the line, take away those quick throws. Number 7 is right there for that pass and takes it in for the Eagles touchdown. It was 10-7 for Washington State. 2 plays later, it is 21-10 for Georgia Southern. Let's see what Washington State can do to try to get a little bit of momentum back in this ball game. I believe they were in the Notre Dame offense in this one, which of course is one of the best playbooks in the game. I've always liked the Notre Dame playbook. Cluster, fantastic formation. You have bunch strong, you have a few different empties. Notre Dame, very, very good. But we can still see those hard flats, those shaded down hooks, and again, the offensive line. Now, Dion Littlejohn. There's so many Little Johns in this game. I don't understand it. But that's Dion Littlejohn able to get in the backfield and get that sack. It's a 3rd and 13 for Washington State. We have seen these offensive lines really be struggling sometimes throughout these games so far. Some real dumb out moments we have seen. So good user defense there, but we take a step too far. We stay a step too far ahead of that halfback, and Breeley's able to put that one on the money. And both these quarterbacks were just so hot and cold in this game. They made some unbelievable throws. They make some great runs like Dash Breeley again. Those quick cuts of some of these quarterbacks, some of these players we've seen throughout conference championship week have just really been putting on a show. So now Georgia Southern, again, we know this is a quick strike offense though. So 40 seconds, 3 timeouts, plenty of time. We're going to try that deep bomb, but hit as he's thrown. Tavita Wynn underthrows it and it gets intercepted by number 5. The swings of this game, 7-7, 10-7 Washington State, then goes 21-10 in 2 plays for Georgia Southern. Then Washington State gets the big touchdown run from Breeley. Then they get the turnover, and here comes that Wildcat with Perry, who's actually going to try to drop back to pass. Unbelievable job that he threw that ball away. I don't know how in the world he got that ball off, but caps off to you there, Cooper Perry. So now it's going to be Dash Breeley back in that backfield. So see, like this is a matching coverage, but because we have our zone drop set on 5, like that vert hook over on the right's not actually going to match on anything. Once he runs like past 5 yards, he's just going to come down at 5 and just kind of sit at 5. Leaves the middle of the field. Breeley tries to hit number 25. A little bit of a tough throw there, goes right over his head. Or we had the middle of the field, so we try to go back to the middle of the field that time, and again just kind of sails right over his noggin. What we're saying, both of these quarterbacks, they have their moments, but they have their not moments. Yep, crushed it. 4th and 10 for Washington State, down by 4. Definitely too far to kick here at the 44, and not. I think I like going for it here. Because even if you don't get it, Georgia Southern's probably not going to have enough time to really do much with it anyway. You'd hope, you'd think. Fingers crossed. But I like going for it here. 4th and 10, Breeley conducting traffic here in the Washington State backfield. Looks like a single mug type defense from Georgia Southern. See if they're going to bring any pressure. Nope, it is just going to be a 4 with a stunt, but a beautiful find right up the left seam there. Breeley puts that one right on the money. So now 10 seconds, ball at the 31-yard line, still hanging on to one more timeout. And how aggressive do we want to get? We know with those 5-yard hooks, you have potential. Oh my gosh. See, like, that's an unbelievable pass. That is an unbelievable throw. I thought for sure somebody was going to drop and jump right in front of that. We rolled out almost all the way to the right sideline, go all the way back to the left hash, 30 yards downfield, and it's dead on the money. And Washington State able to get 3 there before half. Now, second play of the second half. Breely dropping back to pass here again. Great user defense by Georgia Southern, but an even better ball by Breely. Puts it right on the money, feathers it just over the top of the user defender's head. First down for Washington State, ball at the 33. Now back in that 5 wide. And again, this is just such an underneath defense. We should have some things over the middle of the field here, down deep, and we do. Over on that left side, we go for the seam, and what a play by Arias to jump in front of that. There's a deep half coming from our outside corner, got back for that seam streak, jumps in front of it, and takes it back for the touchdown. What a play by Arias. What a play for Georgia Southern. Salute. You just got to salute your guy after a play like that. What can the Cougars come up with here? I mean, to potentially tie the game, we're only down by 8 here. So again, we're audibling into some different formations, going from a 5 wide to a spread look. Dropping back, looking over the middle, but this user defense, he was just a touch too slow with his user. But GMOS's user defense, very, very good. He's really good at getting himself in a right spot to try to take away. So again, we're going that big shaded down look here, down in the red zone. We have that seam, we have the right, we had a lot going on the left side there, some potential. Now, did we want to try throwing that seam again after it was just pick 6 by Arias? I understand going to the comeback there instead. So now a first and goal, back in that Wildcat with Cooper Perry in the backfield, and finds his gap and takes it in. Washington State on the board, gonna be down by 2, gonna go for 2 to try to tie this one up. Jungle Boy, Luke Perry's younger brother there, Cooper Perry, making a big play for Washington State. Shout out the Perry family. 28-26. Still 3 minutes left in the third. Still a lot of ball game left to go here. We're going to go with an RPO, but the flat on number 13 gets out there, makes that tackle, keeps it a 2-point lead for Georgia Southern. Let's see what Tavita Wynn is going to try to cook up here. A little classic Y sail play. Trying to throw the drag underneath, and Wynn just behind him, above him, nowhere near the wide receiver, and gets picked off by the Cougars defense. I don't know what is going on with these quarterbacks in this one, but it's Washington State ball at Georgia Southern's 38-yard line. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Haven't had a lead since it was 10-7. Let's see if we can change that. Trying to go quick to those flats. We know Georgia Southern is not going to be giving up anything quick underneath. That's one thing we're pretty confident of from seeing the play art here. See, now an RPO might work because the hard flat's coming from the defensive end, who'd probably still bite on an RPO, but we'll see if that's what Washington State is going to do. And it's not like they have any way of knowing that. We're looking at Georgia Southern's plays, so of course we know that. Potentially have that corner out, go try to sneak one up the seams in another. That one just dead on the money again. Number 8 is going to go up and make a big catch, the halfback for Washington State. Another great throw by Dash Breely. So now we're in a little like cover 3, shaded down, in the hard flat on the outside. Cooper Perry, he can do it all. He can do it all for Washington State except block on the RPO, and the outside corner actually jumps it and gets that interception for the Eagles and GMOS. Now, I'll make fun of Toledo for being a cut sweat, and which is fair. But talk about a cut sweat play here. Streak on your tight end, slot fade. The only thing that would make it more of a cut sweat play, and I'd really have some words, is if we custom stem this slot fade. So at least we didn't do that. But the streak, slot fade, corner combo over on the right. Wynn trying to roll out, looking for the corner out, and again just underthrown, thrown behind him, and picked off yet again by this Washington State defense. Fittingly, Mitch Corner. Oh, he's not a cornerback though. Never mind. That's not fitting at all. That's the opposite of fitting. The safety, Mitch Corner, jumps in front of that corner route. Oh, blown my own mind here, and gets the interception. So let's see what Washington State can do. Again, looking for that lead at the 37, a 2nd and 1, only a minute left in the third quarter. Time starting to tick down here a little bit. We're going to have those hard flats again. We're going to have our 5-yard hooks here again, just taking away the underneath, but that's going to leave something like that, and then that one just gets missed. Some of the throws we've seen Dash Brealey make have been unbelievable. And then that wide open corner out, the same way he's actually rolling out, unable to hit that one. So we go 3rd and 1. We go with a quarterback run, not to Dash Brealey. It's Tomas Torres picking up that first down. Now it is Brealey going to be back in that backfield. Again, not seeing too much different here from the Georgia Southern defense. Hard flat. We don't have a hard flat on the right, though. I don't know if we did something with our defensive line or we just put a spy out there. But yeah, no hard flat over on the right. Doesn't matter because it's just a run anyway. 2nd and 6. Let's see if we're going to snap one more play here before we take it to the 4th quarter. Looks like that's a no. And indeed, we will not. We will take it to the 4th quarter. 6 minutes to go. 2-point game in the Sun Belt Championship. Finds over the middle. The user defender is flying down there, trying to jump in front of that, was just a step behind it. Great job holding onto that ball through contact there as well from the Washington State wide receiver. So now it is a 3rd and 1. Looks like some gun cluster. Going with some man coverage and a perfect play to call against man coverage. A little whip route is going to beat him there. 1st down, Washington State inside the red zone, ball at the 19-yard line. Going with a halfback draw. Beautiful blocking up front for number 8. We saw him make that great catch earlier. Now with that great run, taking that one for 9 yards. 2nd and 1, keeping the pressure on, keeping some hurry up going. Staying in that gun cluster. See if we're going to go to one of the mesh concepts. I think they have like 3 or 4 in their gun cluster. They have some solid runs in there. We're motioning number 17 out over on the left, trying to give him leverage to win on a corner route, and he does. Cooper Perry. That's how you make up for your mistake and not blocking on that RPO earlier. Just go get one-on-one, go win on that corner route, and go get the touchdown. Now, Tavita Win. We have never seen this man scramble, I think, throughout this whole dynasty, and look at the wheels on Tavita Win. Unbelievable effort there. He rolls out, you get a one-on-one with that defensive lineman. Trust your guy to just make him miss, and there was nobody behind him. Then on the next play, the unbelievable pancake steamroll blocks from this Georgia Southern offensive line is going to take it down to the 1-yard line. 1st and goal, ball at the 1. They're going to try to sneak a tight end RPO over to Tonjes. Looks like we got our user defender flying out to the left to go watch that, but then we can just give it right up the middle to Mr. Heron, and that is a touchdown for Georgia Southern, putting them back in the lead. And they're going to go for 2 to try to make this one a 3-point game, but the defender was all over that one. 2.5 minutes left now. Washington State facing a 4th and 9, too far to kick. I mean, 58-yard field goal. I wouldn't be trusting that either. We got to go here. 4th and 9, motion out into an empty set, 3-man rush. Same type of defense here. You're really just going to try to take away the underneath, and the user defender again. Again, I feel like that's 3 or 4 times GMOS's user has been there, but just a half step too slow. Good secure catch there too from Caleb in Washington State. Gets down to the ground, picks up the Cougars' 1st down, and I believe this is going to take us into the 2-minute warning here. Yes, we are. 33-34. 2 minutes left in this ball game. Can the Cougars finish this drive, put the ultimate pressure on GMOS and his Eagles, try to get it, go for 2, make it a 7-point game. Go for a run up the middle that time to number 24. Only takes it for a gain of 2. Georgia Southern electing not to take any timeouts as of now. Still enough time, I think. I think I agree with that. Now here comes one of those heavy sets from Notre Dame. 3 tight end, 1 wide receiver, number 8 in the backfield with Dash Brealey. Washington State going to be manually chewing clock here for another couple seconds. Let that tick, 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 tick. Ideally for Washington State here, of course, we go for a speed option out to the right. Maniac. Maniac play call. I love it, but it's insane. Because obviously now, Georgia Southern's still not taking any timeouts. I'm surprised you don't take one here. If we're manually chewing this, it's going to get down to about 35 seconds before they are going to snap this ball. Yeah, of course, Washington State get a 1st down here. You can pretty much run out the entire rest of the clock and try to win this with a field goal. So this is a pretty do or die 3rd and 8 for this Georgia Southern defense. If they give up this 1st down, I think Washington State is pulling the upset and winning the Sun Belt. Get off the field here, and your offense will at least have a shot. So 3rd and 8, we're going right up the seam. It's wide open and just gets missed by Dash Brealey. The hot and cold, the on, the off of these quarterbacks in this game was preposterous. I don't know how that one gets missed. Devastating for Washington State, but At least we get our field goal, and it is a 2-point lead. So now Georgia Southern, because they held those timeouts, we do have 33 seconds in all 3 of our timeouts. Really opens up the entire field here. Going to triangle on that deep one, and unbelievable catch. Unbelievable catch. I don't know how in the world that guy held on to that ball. This might just be not meant to be for Washington State. We saw Dash Breeley miss that wide open seam. Hit the Georgia Southern receiver is able to hold on to a pass like that. Might just be one of those times for the Cougars, unfortunately. Now we take that run and pick up a first down ball at the 35. We probably in field goal range here. Of course, you would like, another first down, make it a bit more manageable. I am surprised to see Georgia Southern passing this ball, but maybe that's why I try to catch the defense offside or not offside. Off guard, where they're all expecting the run, hit them with a pass, pick up that first down ball at the 18. Now we're just going to run and try to get this ball right in the middle of the field. We're going to break. The best defender on that play was Georgia Southern's offensive lineman. That guy, number 54. He made sure Heron wasn't getting too crazy on that one. So we take that run. Again, we're just going to try to set ourselves up right in the middle of the field there. Perfect situation, perfect spot for Georgia Southern. One more run here. Washington State used their last time out. Now Georgia Southern will take one. 2 seconds left. Down to the field goal. The kick is up. The kick is good. Georgia Southern walks off Washington State to win the Sun Belt Championship and finish their undefeated conference record for this season. Congratulations, GMOS. I believe the only one now, since Army had to give that forced loss to Sam Houston. I believe Georgia Southern is the only team we had that went perfectly undefeated throughout conference play, including the conference championship. So great season for Caleb, great season for GMOS. We will see both of you guys in the American Conference next year. So with all that covered, all that said, let's do a little wrap up on the regular season. We'll look at our playoff bracket. But before we do that, take a look at the Heisman winner. Because shout out, whoa, twice. Not only are you going to make the playoff, Enrique Trayan is your Heisman Trophy winner for 2029. The man finished with 94 catches, 2,164 yards, and 26 touchdowns. I would say that deserves the Heisman Trophy, absolutely. Cortez Haddad finishes in second, goes 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving. It's kind of tough against Enrique Trayan. This Clemson guy, 1,500 rushing yards, 27 touchdowns. Sure. Cooper Perry, who we just saw for Washington State, finishes 1,000 receiving yards, 18 receiving touchdowns, 420 yards after catch, and that doesn't even include any of his rushing stats. Let's see where that ended up this season. Oh, he's been on Washington State. He's been a dog for Washington State. Let's see, rushing wise, he added another 339 and 5 touchdowns on the ground. So a fantastic season for Cooper Perry, and rounding out our top 5 is going to be Caleb Hawkins. He ended up 1,300 rush yards, 16 touchdowns, 500 receiving yards. So congratulations, Enrique Trayan and Sam Houston. So let's take a look at our college football playoff bracket here at the end of season 5. And next year, since season 6 is going to be our last season, we are going to fiddle around with some forced losses and stuff and get as many users in here as we can. So if we take a look at the bracket here, we get Sam Houston up at the 12th spot, taking on Ohio State. Already got that win. It was close, 41-38, but Sam Houston's gonna be moving on to face the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are only like a 76 overall team. So I got high hopes for Sam Houston to at least get the semifinal. We're waiting for him. Is potentially going to be the winner of Toledo and Louisiana, our week 13, whatever, the final week of the regular season. These two teams played an absolute classic, and now they are back at it, back in Louisiana. IQ Truth taking on Vancy in round 1. And then right behind my head here, you can see Utah State ends up making it as the 10 seed. He already took down Oregon, and he's got nothing but CPU until the national championship. Somehow Utah State ended up with by far the best draw in this entire thing. So we'll see. We expect Utah State to be the national championship, and in the top half, who the heck knows, man? When you got a guy like Enrique Trayan, Sam Houston's be able to put up a game against anybody. I definitely expect them to be in the semifinal at least. And then, yeah, Toledo, Louisiana, our national championship in year 3 and in year 4. They will be rematching in round 1 of the 2029 playoffs. Exciting. Very exciting times. What's not so exciting is my team, Old Dominion. So you can see we finished number 15 in the country, the best finish we have ever had. And what's our reward for the best finish we have ever had? How about go to Arizona and face South Alabama, who, by the way, 56 overall team. 56 overall South Alabama is who we got for our bowl game. So I'm probably not going to do a video or anything about that. I might not even play that. We might pull a Notre Dame and just boycott our bowl game here. So we will see what all ends up happening there. We can look at Coach Carousel and early National Signing Day while we're here. Why the heck not? User offered, I got a whole lot of nothing. But if we just look across all openings, so how we do these during the offseason, you can switch teams, either if you have an opening that you can go take, but it has to be a group of 5 team in real life that's currently rated 2 stars or below. So for us, that's any team in the Pac-12 or the MAC, except for Tulane or Boise State. You can either take the job if it's in the coach carousel, or you can retire your coach and take the new team. There kind of has to be some penalty for just hopping around teams like that. So that's what we ended up doing. So as of right now, the openings, if you were curious, Eastern Michigan that people could take, Eastern Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Liberty. 0 star Liberty Bibberty. That would be tough. That would be a tough one. We'll see. I know Southern Miss has mentioned he's going to change teams. I don't know if anybody else will heading into season 6. Early National Signing Day. How are we looking here? We're in a battle for this halfback. We got this one on the board here as well. This wide receiver, us or Buffalo, is looking pretty close. A few guys we're still in on, still waiting on. But when it comes to the guys we have got, our 4-star quarterback, I actually haven't even looked at any of this yet. Star Dev. I mean, that doesn't really mean a ton because we only got 1 season left. So that kind of sucks. That it took us until now to get a quarterback like that, but hey, we'll see what ends up happening next season. Right guard, normal, right guard, normal, right tackle, normal, right tackle, normal. Awesome. Sam linebacker, though. Another star dev, Zach Spillman. Again, would love to have more than 1 season with you, brother, but we'll enjoy the 1 year we got together. Another star dev, Kalavon Watford. Free safety, normal. Impact on the strong safety. Okay, so I don't hate where our class is right now. You know, we only got 1 season left, but mainly this was just practice for us for college football 27. And I know some things are probably going to change, but at least give us a better base on how to recruit. So yeah, that is it for conference championship week. Fantastic games. Congratulations again to all the winners. Best of luck to everybody that did make the playoffs. We will have probably a game of the week for that user playoff game between Toledo and Louisiana, because I expect that to be a very, very good game. And then any other user playoff games that come across our desk here. Then we'll be heading to the offseason and probably the most important transfer portal we have had yet. So we'll have some videos about that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you guys enjoyed season 5. I will see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy.